So welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be so much fun, and it is all about the Jeffree Star Beauty Killer palette. This has been an exciting couple weeks for makeup for a wide variety of reasons. As most of you know, a lot of YouTubers have launched makeup and have launched collections. Some of it has gone great and some of it has been a little controversial. Now, the Jeffree Star Beauty Killer palette is one of those things that ended up being really great for a lot of people and controversial for some. For my personal experience, and I don't want to get ahead of myself here, my personal experience has been that I received everything in mint condition, no pun intended. Okay, so going into the palette, I actually did a little bit of a cost breakdown. I honestly didn't feel that $45 was expensive for a palette at all. I have paid well over more than that for palettes. 50 some dollars being an average asking price for a palette. Now, granted, there are 10 shades in here instead of 12 or 16. But something to consider here, these are, as an individual shadow, about the size of a full-size shadow. The actual weight grams descriptions will be in the bottom bar for you, so you can go ahead and check those out for yourself so you know how much eyeshadow per pan there is. However, I just wanted to let you know if you were to divide 10 by $45, each of these shadows is very inexpensive, and dare I say it, even more inexpensive than ColourPop. So the very first shadow you're going to be receiving in this palette is Star Power, and it is a hot pink. And this beautiful hot pink matte finish shadow is one of the more pigmented shadows in the entire palette. So with this shadow, you're getting intense, beautiful quality, high pigmentation. It is the color of that Towels hot pink stripe back there. I haven't used this color a lot just because I haven't had a need to use a hot pink on the daily. My brand doesn't sell a hot pink, so I can't really wear it to work, but I am super excited for that. That's actually how the finger looks after I swatched it off, and it's still filled and covered with hot pink pigment. The next color in here is beautiful as well, and it is actually the color that is in the center of my lid. You guys, whenever I sell beauty products, whenever I do reviews, I definitely always have the review product at hand completely representing what it is I'm talking about, or I see no point. And that is a beautiful icy pink. I mean, you can even use this mama as a highlighter. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous, and like I said, center of my eyelid. I have been using this religiously with some of my more dramatic looks in the center of the eyelid, just so I can have a little bit of, you know, a more mature, I guess, kind of look. Although I have done somewhat more subdued looks than some other people would have done, maybe let's say on Instagram, a lot of that has to do with the fact that I am actually working on people to deliver a good, decent makeup look. A lot of my looks have to be malleable for an everyday person, have to be somewhat bridal, and so I don't really use makeup in the same way that some YouTubers might, given my background and what I do. But Princess is one of those great colors that can definitely hold its own and pull together a very dramatic look, and in a sense make it workable for day and for night. If it's something that you definitely want to utilize as an eyeshadow, you probably could. So we're gonna go ahead and take this this little brush. This is from Burlesque actually, and I've kind of been scaling back on the highlighter. I mean, I'm a little bit older than some of the people that are blotching it, you know, all through here, and while it looks good on them, I really don't want to steer people in the wrong direction of how to apply highlight either, just simply because people have reported back, you know, to all of us people on social media and said, my boyfriend said it looked like I had a strip of white on my face. It's like, well, girl, you gotta blend. So you gotta blend that. And so you can use Princess as a highlighter for sure. So consider that something else you can use it for, but for an eyeshadow, it's definitely not boring, it's not a dud, it has its place. The next color in this palette is Violence, and I have actually already worn this, so I'm going to go ahead and insert my look. I actually did get the chance to wear this to work. Once again, I apply makeup on people at work, so color makeup does have a place for me, a representation for me. And I feel, especially as somebody who has to sell makeup and apply makeup, I definitely have a place here on YouTube showing you guys products, because I'm not gonna, I'm not one of those makeup artists who only works on models and stuff like that. This is something that you guys might want, that the average consumer is going to buy. Silence has got a nice sort of deepy eggplant shimmery color. It's absolutely gorgeous. And with this one and with most purples, they are very difficult to make. So you might have to work with it a little bit, but it yields a beautiful result, beautiful color. It doesn't fade once you get the intensity that you want blended onto your look. It's not something that disappears and goes away. Just use your eyeshadow base. Once again, purples are very difficult to make, but that is true. It's not completely solid. You can see through it a bit, but being that it's a red purple, it definitely looks nice on skin and doesn't just look like a solid, you know, hit of a red purple. You don't really want your eyes to look irritated anyways. So I definitely do like this purple, actually, because you can really make it go either way. You can really play with it. It's malleable, for lack of a better word. The next color in here is called Rich Bitch, and it is a frosty gold color. I'm gonna call it a color. I'm gonna call it a glitter. I don't know if I'm gonna call it a solid opaque eyeshadow per se, but that is it in a swatch. So it kind of reminds me in a swatch of Sugar Pills Goldilux. Please note, this is not the be all end all for it. So you do have to kind of pack it on heavily if you want more of a look. Otherwise, when you blend it out a little bit and apply it, if you were to apply it with a brush, the way it would look on an eyelid is look like this up here. So this is a great accent color. It's definitely a great all over lid color if you want a gentle look during the day with a vibrant tone. It's a great accent color for underneath the eye. It's definitely something to have fun with and play with. The texture is definitely fun, and I can't compare this to any other makeup on the market right now because this is the only palette Jeffree Star has ever done. The quality is above drugstore. The quality for what you're getting for it is definitely worth your money because it's more inexpensive than ColourPop, and it's definitely easier to apply than ColourPop. You do not have to use your finger for this, but if you wanted to get a little bit more of that intensity with the Rich Bitch, I definitely would use a good eyeshadow base, and I would definitely use my finger because if you start to blend it out, you're going to see more glitter. Now the next color in this palette is going to be Courtney, and this is the be-all end-all of transition shades for me. It is matte, it is buttery, it is smooth, it almost looks like a chocolate milkshake that you didn't put enough chocolate in. It's radiant, and to me this is sort of the color that I would have liked to have seen in the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly Chocolate Bar palette. And I'm somebody who loves Too Faced shadows, not everybody does. They're definitely something that you can build up and create your own intensity with, and I feel like this palette has a similar deal, but the shades in here are definitely a little bit more pigmented than something you would get in Too Faced. So if you like Too Faced, these will be butterier than that. But Courtney, the color is fabulous. I mean, it's like a beautiful kind of cool tone skin tone shade, so it looks beautiful in the crease and would look fabulous as a brow highlight on many skin tones. I mean, you can definitely see that swatch. Sometimes transition colors dissipate or disappear in swatches and you can't see them. You can see that that is buttery and pigmented. I'm using it now. It blended out all the shadows in my crease gorgeously, and I just could not be happier with Courtney. This shadow shade changed my life, and I think a nice warm orange is definitely needed and necessary in an eyeshadow palette. I definitely think it's not one of those colors that's kind of offbeat because, well, it warms up the crease. It's nice, it's pink, not everybody wants it, but it's a good basic to warm up the crease. This color's more than that. This color is, it'll warm up your crease, but not in a weird way. It's a good basic to have. Expensive is the next shade in this palette, and it is a shimmering teal. It is exotic and beautiful, and it's got some real nice glitter in there. I mean, she shines, and I haven't really gotten a chance to use this one in a look yet, but I'll definitely be wanting to do that real soon. I recently did a green smoky eye using my Too Faced chocolate bonbons, and I really like that green in there, so this is something I definitely want to play with. I do have a lot of customers who love teal eyeliners, teal shades, so if this shade scares you, try it as an eyeliner first. You might find yourself really loving it. The next shade in here is Confession, and that is today's main color. It is the piece de resistance of my entire look today. It is in the outer corner of my eye, it is in the inner corner of my eye, it is in the crease of my eye, and it is underneath my eyes. Confession is definitely something that you can play with and work with, and you can make it look kind of natural like I've done today, or you can definitely do more of a holiday variation of Confession. But being that we're in the middle of summer, I felt Confession needed to have its place, if that makes any sense. Cranberry is definitely a good red shadow shade to have. Because it's not too red, it won't make you look sickly, and this one has a nice velvet texture. Almost reminds me of a Velux Pearl from MAC. I can't remember if their shade's called Cranberry or not. It could very well maybe, but that is it. And it kind of reminds me of the, you know, the confessional color that you would see on Real World or something. If you were a kid of the 90s, you know, kids from like Real World Hawaii or New Orleans would sit in front of the red thing and then they'd talk crap about each other, but that's basically it. Vanity is a nice eggplant color. This is a great color if you're somebody who wants a little bit more of a kick to a neutral or a basic. This color in particular is kind of a mix of brown and purple. It definitely is like a brown and purple made a baby. And if you're somebody who's afraid of like a red and purple like Violence, Vanity is definitely something fun. And what I really like about Vanity is it almost is a matte variation of MAC Beauty Marked or Makeup Geek Prom Night, and so definitely something really fun. And I'm not saying that in terms of pigmentation or finish or anything like that, just simply in terms of base color. And with Beauty Marked or Prom Night, sometimes it looks really black or really chunky and glittery and you don't see this background color. This is one of its so good. Alright, I'm gonna tell you why I love this palette right here and right now, because I can't go on. I'm like getting tongue-tied trying to describe how good Vanity is, when really what I'm trying to say is the mattes in here are awesome, and he should just do a matte palette coming up. Next palette, matte palette, please. Beautiful work on the mattes. I can't speak on behalf of them enough. The next color in this palette is China White, and you can see China White in practice here on my brow bone. It's not too white, and the reason it's not too white is because it's got a good beige undertone. It's got a true beige undertone. I accidentally put a washed brush on top of it, and this powder is so good it didn't just drink all of it. There definitely is a good ingredient listing or binding ingredient in these powders that makes them, you know, easy to ship, or even makes the shimmers easy to ship, because when I accidentally put that wet brush on top, I was able to salvage it and completely remove the top layer and save, you know, even the star logo. So China White is definitely a good color to have. Like I said, it's on my brow highlights, so you can perfectly see that in practice. There's nothing else on my brow but China White. So really good stuff with China White. Sometimes MAC shadows, when you accidentally add a wet brush or add a wet ingredient to them, they harden up on the spot and you can't fix it. It's either that or MUAs are double dipping instead of ghosting, as they call it in the industry, when you're working with samples on clients. You're ghosting, and sometimes I'm thinking MAC people don't ghost, and so sometimes you'll see like a hardened residual dew on top, and I was completely able to clean this off and save it. The next color in this palette is Black Rainbow, and Black Rainbow is what it is. It's black and it has rainbow double sparkle. This reminds me almost of an inglot color. They did this really, really, really well. Kind of reminds me of a pressed form of Sugar Pills. I believe the color is called Stella, and you can see all that rainbow glitter in there the way that we're focused. It is beautiful, and I haven't gotten the chance to really work with this yet, but I will. We're still in the middle of summer. As for my eye look is considered today, it was very easy to blend. You can see I can blend that all out. I'm definitely a blender. I'm not a hard cut crease kind of girl. I know some people mentioned that they wish that, you know, the colors kind of became, you know, merged more, and to me they merge very, very well. You can overlap them to make them merge. There's different ways to make them blend, make them merge. They are pigmented, so they will stay where you put them in that sense. They're malleable. You can work with them. There is some give time with them, like there is with the Too Faced and the MAC shadows. These aren't just pure pigmentation. Sometimes some of those brands that people rave about in the beginning that are pure pigmentation and no base, no other ingredients, sometimes the base and the ingredients can separate on those and create a big nasty mess. I don't see that with the Beauty Killer palette, and I prefer products that I can work with and add the intensity that I want. So for me, that was the Beauty Killer palette, and like I mentioned, my favorite finishes in the Beauty Killer palette were the mattes, and then the close runner-ups were, of course, the velvets, and then of course the double sparkles. This Princess Frost color was great, wonderful, beautiful formulation. Rich Bitch is really, it's kind of its own product. It could have been released with the intent of being a glitter eyeshadow, but I will list all the colors in the bottom bar with the weight of the shadows and then the finishes that they are in the bottom bar. And so you get a great variety. If you're somebody who likes mattes, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 in here. If you're somebody who likes frosts or whatever, you're going to get more velvets than you're going to get frosts. You're going to get about 1, 2, 3, 4 velvets. One of the velvets is going to have shine. One of the mattes, or the ones with the matte base, is going to have a rich double sparkle sitting on top. You're going to have one frost, so to speak, and you're going to have one glitter. And there's definitely different things to do with all of these colors. And you could do, not a neutral look per se, but you could do a neutral look. If you just did these two, you could do definitely a neutral look. And then in my first impressions video, I kind of used these babies for sort of a play on a neutral look. So for today's, final kind of synopsis on what I think of this palette, I think he did a really good job, and I can't wait to see him go and grow and maybe do a matte palette. Beautiful work on his very first launch on this. So I guess that brings us to the Skin Frost before I let you go, and I'm actually wearing a light dusting of the Skin Frost today. And what I like about the Skin Frost is that it has a lot of, this one in particular is a little unique, so I can't really compare it to anything else, but this one in particular is sort of a reflex green, it reflects a mint, so it's definitely not for everybody, and I don't mean that to sound rude, but not everybody's gonna want mint on their cheeks. If it's somebody who has a lot of like rosacea, they might really enjoy this. And then you could pick up just a little bit just to add a little bit of a reflex and just kind of put that on there. I'm trying to scale back on the highlighter a little bit because I don't like looking so frosty every day. It looks kind of crazy in person, to be honest with you. Even though people love it when I'm frosty, even in person, but I don't know. I'm just trying to get better at like concealing and trying to put on, foundation that moves with my skin and doesn't become so solid with my skin. Does that make any sense? But yes, I definitely think that this mint conditioned Skin Frost is awesome. I swatched in my first impressions video, but just for one more time's sake, the swatch will not perform the way it applies. So, I mean, if you wanted to apply it like this, you have to apply it with your fingers. Just something to keep in mind, but that is mint condition. And I was actually very excited for it, and it actually, when you do swatch it that way and you shear it out a little bit, it kind of has sort of an icy green base to it. You can shear it out quite a bit so it looks more white than it looks green, if that's something you're interested in doing, but it does kind of produce a fun sort of glamorous, ice princessy kind of look. And like I said, when you wear it mixed with other kind of more basic highlighters, it looks really good. So there's, if you only get a chance to have one and you want something really unique, I'd check out Mint Condition. If you have dark skin, check out King Tut. If you have mid-tone skin, check out Peach Goddess, I think it is. And then I think the last one is Ice or something like that, the white one. I'm not a fan of white highlighters on me. They're just a little too fake. It looks beautiful on everybody I've ever seen it on. Breathtaking, really. But I don't know how it looks in person, so I'll have to think about that one. But Peach Goddess is definitely the next Skin Frost on my humble little list. And so, will I be purchasing more from Jeffree Star? Absolutely. I absolutely loved these. These came in perfect condition, no cracks, as you can see. Good stuff. Good stuff. So for me, absolutely wonderful. And yeah, as far as all these controversies about companies where they're making their products and all that stuff, makeup brands have done that for years. Makeup Forever and Makeup Geek have the same factory, for example. So Just something to keep in mind. Just because they have the same factory doesn't mean they're using all the same ingredients in the same order. I don't know if Jeffree Star shares a factory with anybody, so please let me know in the comment section below, you know, as far as brands you're interested in and having me review for you. I would love to review them. The brands, the product, whatever it is, please type in the comment section below what you'd like me to talk about next, because I definitely want to do more reviews, more little hauls for you guys, and more thoughts. And I think, yeah, next I have something very special in mind, but that doesn't mean we can't skip it for something else. See you guys in the next one. Bye!